On the front pages of today, we see four faces, four coaches, four familiar names. Antonio Conte, Roberto Mancini, Giampiero Gasperini, Igor Tudor. Four coaches that have the possibility to become the new coach of the Bianconeri. Some already this season, other names probably next season, in the start of a new project, another one. And you will tell me how on earth, Beppe, is it possible that today four different coaches are finishing on Tuttosport and on Gazzetta dello Sport, while actually not even 24 hours ago, Cristiano Giuntoli took the microphone to speak to Sky Sport Italia with a message to the supporters telling us that he strongly believed in the project and also that Thiago Motta is without any doubt the coach of Juventus Football Club. I will give you all the details in today's video. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. Ragazzi, after that video, I'm rushing because I'm taking the plane to Milano first. After Milano, I go to Napoli with a plane, and then I take the car to Avellino. Tomorrow there will be a Juventus official fan club event organized by Juve. I'm super honored again to be between the supporters, having the possibility to interview a legend of Juve and then maybe even some of the next gen players. So super happy, beautiful weekend. Pay attention, put that notification ring on because there will be some videos on the go. There will be some videos with beautiful landscape, maybe, you never know, from the Avellino Stadium, because there will be Avellino against next gen on Sunday. So don't miss anyone. And of course, if you want to maximum of like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because now we start with the news before entering the Toto Allenatori. What does that mean? The casting of the coaches. Well, there is another team that is really in trouble at the moment. It is Milan. Incubo Milan, Nightmare Milan is the big title with Rafael Leao on Gazzetta dello Sport, because yesterday they lost 2-1 against Bologna. You will tell me, Beppe, we don't want to speak about Milan. It's important, because finally, and I tell you, finally, we have a complete ranking of Serie A with all the teams that played 26 games. I hate it when one has 23 games played, the other one's 25, the other one 24. It's a total disaster because you always need to explain the narrative, the ranking. We are fourth, but pay attention because the other one has a game in hand. Disaster. So I'm super happy that finally we have 26 games, and hopefully we can go like that until match day 38. 12 games to play. We will know a lot of things. What we know at the moment is that we are as far from the top, -8, that Milan is far from us with -8 from us. So really, Milan is really far. They're already out of the top 4. Can we say that? Not yet, because 12 games, that means a lot of points to play. 36 points to gain. On the other side, this weekend can already be decisive because they are playing against Lazio. A draw would be fantastic, because that means Lazio is missing 2 points and Milan is losing 2 points. If we do our job against Verona, which is absolutely not a guarantee, we could potentially already be at +10 from Milan with then 11 games to play. That could be extremely beautiful. And also they're taking a lot from Lazio. We are at the moment at +2. We could potentially be at +4. For the dreamers, Inter Napoli will play this weekend. I'm not sure if I will be able to watch the game because I will be away. If I have the opportunity, I will be curious, not because I dream about the Scudetto, but maybe the next 12 games could be maybe even interesting to see if that run Inter Napoli can be even more open with Inter Napoli Atalanta, and then you know it, and with a lot of pressure, who knows what can happen. We have 12 games to play. I told you I want 12 wins. Will 12 wins happen? Absolutely not. We already know it. It will already be extremely beautiful if we are able to beat a Verona. So let's see. And I'm really curious about that game of Verona, not only because I want to go back to win, and we will do the watch along here because I will be back on time, but I'm also really curious to see who will play, who will start that game, who will be the 11 men chosen by Thiago Motta, because we know it. And the shocking words of Thiago after the elimination in Coppa Italia were harsh. He said at a certain moment, some here, speaking about the players, they are pretending, they are demanding without giving. Who was he referring to? A lot of journalists and papers are going towards 3 names. Some are even mentioning a 4th name. Dusan Vlahovic, Teun Koopmeiners, Nico Gonzalez could potentially be the 3 names that Thiago Motta was referring to. A 4th name could possibly be Andrea Cambiaso. I'm really curious if these 4 players will start the game against Verona. Extremely curious. Now, we go to the first topic, the one that I said in the intro. Toto allenatori, casting coaches. Why? If yesterday, we know it, Thiago Motta has been confirmed by Cristiano Giuntoli. Juventus is in crisis, we know it, and we are out of Champions League, we are out of Coppa Italia, we didn't qualify to the final of Supercoppa, we will miss the next one, and we are, let's be honest, out of the Scudetto race. Even if -8 are not a lot, but we know the potential of that team. The problem is that everything is in doubt. Everything is in doubt. Even if yesterday the words of Cristiano Giuntoli were going towards, he's absolutely not in discussion. Without any doubt, he is our coach. We believe in the project. Well, the same words were said last year about Massimiliano Allegri. He is the point of the diamond. He's the jewel of this Juventus. These were the words of Cristiano Giuntoli, where we all discovered later that he was already nearly in agreement with another coach, that is Thiago Motta. So can we trust really the words of Cristiano Giuntoli? A sporting director in front of microphone, I always tell you, but it's part of the job. It's not because they are liars, it's not because it's Cristiano Giuntoli, but always pay attention. Take it with a grain of salt, pay attention, because what they are saying is to save what the decision is at that moment. They cannot go and say he is at doubt, he's obliged to go for the top 4, otherwise he's out. This kind of discussion cannot happen. But we know that with some experience, and not only with Cristiano Giuntoli, but with Nedved, with in the past other coaches, we know that these kind of things in front of microphones are sometimes more to calm down everyone, and also because it's part of the job to go and explain, to say, to reassure the people. Even if I'm asking myself, were you really reassured after the words of Cristiano Giuntoli? Question mark. I told you, top 4 will not be enough for Beppe to judge the season of Juve. What I want to see, what I want to feel is a progression, especially understanding if the players are following Thiago Motta, because we know it. If today the words of Thiago Motta were shocking, the ones that I just told you a second ago, about some players that are not giving enough, etc., etc., it means that something is not working in the locker room of Juve. Well, Tuttosport is telling us top 4 could not be enough, because he needs to show us progresses, improvements, and also especially showing us that he has that locker room that is following him. So we go towards what I always said. Top 4 is not enough with 12 games to play. Top 4 is not enough. We are not speaking about Scudetto. We are not speaking about entering the top 3, entering the top 2. No. We are speaking really about top 4. Yes, that's the minimum. If we have no top 4, he's out. That's already written. If it's top 4, not only. We need also other things, way of playing, players, etc., etc. That's why today we have all these coaches on the front pages of Tuttosport, inside of Gazzetta dello Sport. Tuttosport gave us 4 names, and I will give you the details. We have Igor Tudor. Let's start with Igor Tudor. It's probably the easiest one. Why? Because we know it. Igor Tudor has always had that huge, big emotional love link with Juve. It's a coach that has already played with Juve, not only. He's also a coach that was there as an assistant of Pirlo, and he sees it also as an unfinished job. He always said, I will not take ever anymore in my career a vice coach role, but I would possibly come back as a first coach. At interim, I don't think that Igor Tudor is a coach at interim, but for Juve, he would do that exception. So if things would go really, really bad, let's say losing against Verona or losing against Atalanta and Fiorentina, a total disaster, where Igor Tudor could be ready to take it as from this season already until the end of the season. Opening a new project with Igor Tudor, I doubt it. I also doubted about Roberto Mancini, that is at the moment without club after the experience in Saudi Arabia in the national team. Well, Roberto Mancini could be another one that is taking as a caretaker. For what reason? Not a long project, but a temporary project, because it's probably a beautiful window to the world also for him to say, look, I'm back in the game, I'm back in Italy. If there is an interesting project from season 25-26, I'm ready for it, but not at Juve. So Roberto Mancini would not be a long-term coach. On the other side, is that a good idea to go with 6-month coaches? 6 months, it's a big word, and because we are already in the month of March, so that means, 2.5 months. Is that the right strategy to do? Juventus is still hesitant, because we know it. Ciao today on Corriere dello Sport, he finished with a big title, Ciao. Ciao, why? Because it's a total disaster. He's already the third coach of Milan after Lopetegui, I think, that has been contacted. Then it was Fonseca, now him. Could possibly even leave before the end of the season, a total disaster. So sometimes that electroshock is working for one game, two games, but it's not able to keep that continuity until the end of the season, which Conceição has the contract with Milan. He doesn't have a really long contract. So that's what Juventus is trying to avoid. Avoiding taking another coach for 3-4 months, because that would be or good or bad, we have no idea. It's always a danger. So they would love to finish the end of the season with Thiago Motta and then thinking if he doesn't meet the minimum requirements, so top 4 and improvements, with another coach. And that's where we go with the two big names. Look, today Gazzetta dello Sport is saying something that is probably correct. Juve cercasi DNA Juventino. So Juventus is looking for DNA Juventus. And there are two big names that are linked with that. It's Giampiero Gasperini on one side and Antonio Conte on the other side. There's still Igor Tudor. I told you Igor Tudor would not have been seen as a long-term project. On the other side, it's true that in terms of finances, it's a cheap name. It's a cheap salary name. Not a cheap name, but it's just cheap salary name. So it could still be there, who knows, to open a new project. But looks like Giampiero Gasperini and Antonio Conte are the two big names that are linked to Juve. You will tell me, how is it possible? We know that Gasperini could possibly leave Atalanta. That's what he already made sure that people know at the end of this season. Whatever happens in Italy, he's still there in the run for the top 1 to win the Scudetto, but he wants to leave. A lot of people were speaking already with big, huge contacts with Roma, a project that is quite nice for him. He would love to go to Roma. On the other side, when he heard about Juventus, well, Giampiero Gasperini already sent his agent, his entourage, to listen and to already put that idea in the mind of Cristiano Giuntoli, a bit like Inception, putting an idea in the brain of someone and then people are starting to think about it. He doesn't want to wait. He wants to anticipate everyone. So why would he come back? Because we know it also for him, unfinished job for Giampiero Gasperini, that has been the coach of Juve, even a player of Juve, for people that do not know. He was the coach of Juve in the youth academy. He won Viareggio. He did beautiful things. Then he left 20 years of career with that peak, huge 10 years at Atalanta, winning also a Europa League, bringing the first international trophy to the Bergamaschi. He would love to come back in his village, in his city, that is Torino, because he's coming from Torino and he's also a Juventino since a kid. So that would be Giampiero Gasperini. In the later days, I will give you the pros, the contrast, but that's why Giampiero Gasperini could come to Juve to actually do an unfinished job. Would you love Giampiero? Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section. And the other name is Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte, that looks like, or he doesn't win the Scudetto with Napoli and he's pissed off because he says to De Laurentiis, you sold Kvaratskhelia, you didn't sign, who was it, Garnacho, Adeyemi, etc., etc. It's because of you that we didn't win the Scudetto, and he's pissed off and he leaves. Or he wins the Scudetto and then he goes to Gasperini, to De Laurentiis, telling him, I want a lot of new players. De Laurentiis will not be able to sign them, and then he leaves as well. So a lot of people are saying that Antonio Conte and Napoli will end whatever happens at the end of this season. And we know it. Antonio Conte would love to come back to Juve, something that has been totally pushed away seasons ago, first by Andrea Agnelli, then by the new management. But in Juventus, in La Continassa, there are people starting to really think that DNA Juve is something that we miss, and there is none other than Antonio Conte that could really transmit that black and white passion to go back faster, changing totally project, because with Antonio Conte you are not speaking about the project that we have now. With Gasperini you could possibly continue the project you started now. So a lot of names there. Will it be them? Will it be Thiago Motta? I tell you personally, I would love that we have another season with Thiago Motta. For what reason? And I know it's unpopular, because that means that these 12 games are going smoothly, in a beautiful way, that we win games, that we qualify to top 4, that we have improvement, that the players start to click, that the locker room is with the coach. I would love it. Then, of course, if it's not working, guys, what can you do? You cannot insist too much. Because at Juventus, you cannot insist too much. That would be a total drama. So, ragazzi, I hope you enjoyed that video. Put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza. Juve.